up, bitches? It's a misanthropic one, aka He Who Hungers, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant. Please, Will Smith, the shit out of like button. Share this video across the internet in order to fight the YouTube algorithm and censorship. All right. Today was a monumental day, depending on how you look at it, for the mainstream media. And I'm sure a lot of you heard, we got Don Lemon, who was fired from CNN, and Tucker Carlson, who parted ways with Fox News. And I'm going to start with Don Lemon first. Don Lemon, who I view as like, I view him as one of the biggest cucks on television. This dude was on thin ice for a while. I mean, CNN, I look at that as nothing but as fear-mongering, fucking bullshit propaganda. That's the way I view that. And I know some people might say, well, you lean a certain way. There's too much stuff that they've done throughout the years that if you're not opening your eyes to it, I mean, I could be here for 12 hours talking about this shit, but I'm not going to do that. My real ones know what I'm talking about. Whether it's COVID, whether it's Russia, whether it's Trump in itself, we all know what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to go into that. But ever since Jeff Zucker left CNN due to their ratings tanking by 91%, you've seen all the heavy hitters get hit. Brian Stelter, Chris Cuomo, and a lot of people were looking at Don Lemon and wondering, man, when is this motherfucker gonna go? Because he's the biggest, one of the biggest bitches in the mainstream media. And they couldn't get rid of him as easily because CNN likes to promote all this bullshit diversity and, oh, we're friends with minorities and LGBTQ shit. So they kind of box themselves into that whole SJW type shit. So they can't fire him for having a failing show because his ratings weren't the same after the Trump era, right? So they couldn't justify firing him because he's black and gay, because it would look like he could turn around and say, oh, it's because you guys are racist and homophobic. So they moved him to a morning spot, which he said was a promotion, but we know it wasn't. It was a demotion. And because he had a primetime slot at night, and then they moved him to the morning. And he has these two female hosts. Their names elude me right now, but I feel he was set up, because when you look at that show and you have these two women cackling in his ear. Listen, I felt for Don. I'll be honest, I did. And he said a few things that were true. Because Don Lemon, he knows what's up. He knows what time it is, but he's just a mouthpiece for the far left. So he said at one point, I believe they were talking about, was it women's soccer or women's basketball, where he said, look, to be honest, when I go out with the dudes and we go to a bar and some of that stuff is on, it's not interesting to some of these people. So they're like, change that, put on the NBA or whatever. They don't want to watch that. So he was talking about this whole thing with I believe it was in reference to revenue and women getting paid. That whole tired narrative that, we should get paid as much as the men and this and that. He was basically making that argument that common sense people or rational minded people would make. No one watches it. So it's like, it has to be interesting. All right. And he also was taking a shot at Nikki Haley, saying that because she's running for president, and he goes, well, you're talking about Joe Biden being old, but if you're past, I forget what age it was, you're past your prime. I'm just paraphrasing what he said, which is something that women themselves say. But those two things that he said about women got him in hot water, on top of the fact that he don't like being overtalked by one of these women in particular. There was all these rumblings going on, and that would get an average person, a straight dude, particularly a straight white male, they'd be gone like that, right? But they kept keeping this dude hanging on and hanging on. Oh, and I also forgot his allegations of sexual assault in the Hamptons. I'm not gonna go into that. You can look at it, look that up on your own. It is fucking hilarious. But this dude was dead weight, and it was only a matter of time. I think they were just waiting for the right time to get rid of him. And this last interview he had with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a great candidate, by the way. I like him. I think that kind of pushed him out. Like, it's like, no, let's just get rid of this nigga, man. This nigga don't, And he's terminated. Do I see a future for him somewhere? I mean, I don't know. I don't really see him. He's not really a personality type dude. He's more of like a shill. But I'll get into that later, concerning his future. Now, let me talk about my man Tucker Carlson. Y'all know, love Tucker. I think he's a truth teller, anti-establishment dude. He is a conservative. I think he says a lot of things that are fucking true, and he's able to break down complex things and tell it to the common man. And he parted ways with Fox News. I don't really see him having a problem at all surviving this, because when Tucker came into Fox News, and mind you, he's been all over the place, CNN, I forget where else, but he's been all over the place. And he took over, I believe, Bill O'Reilly's spot. Took that over. He was killing it in the ratings. Still to this day, he was the number one mainstream anchor on all these networks. He was number one, and it was for a reason. I believe he was the recipient of the Howard Stern effect. Those that like him already know what he's gonna say or know where he stands, but those that hate him watch him even more. I think that's what it was. But he gets labeled controversial. I don't see why. He's just saying real ass shit. Yeah, he was their big lightning rod. Now, with him being gone, I picture a lot of people dipping from Fox. A lot of people, because it's going to be very hard to fill Tucker Carlson's shoes. He can go do his own thing, podcast, or at very least Rumble, get more eyes on Rumble, and make that much more of a competitive platform versus YouTube, because we all know how YouTube sucks with the censorship and all that shit. Because this happened to Bill O'Reilly in the past. Bill O'Reilly was kind of ousted because of like allegations, sexual allegations and all that stuff, but nothing really happened to him. He took his audience with him, number one. I believe he had a number one bestseller after the fact. He was still making tons of money. So in Tucker's case, I believe he's younger than Bill O'Reilly. He could still bank. He's still gonna take a lot of people with him no matter what he does. So let me wrap it up by combining the two. There's been rumors about News Nation, which is I believe it's YouTube based. I've seen it. I know that I haven't gone beyond to see if News Nation has its own other platform, but I know it's on YouTube. And they got Chris Cuomo on there, but supposedly from what I'm hearing, News Nation is trying to get both Tucker and Don Lemon, which would be a good get for them, but I don't think they got enough scratch to get both of them, particularly Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson makes a lot of money. So I don't think he's gonna take that deep of a hit only to be controlled by somebody else. Tucker Carlson's best bet is to go independent. Don Lemon, to me, he's done so much gaslighting and damage. If he went independent, he's gonna end up like his buddy Chris Cuomo on News Nation. Like, this dude ain't breaking no type of views, no nothing. Chris Cuomo talking about how he wanted to go and deal with you. I'll let you figure that out. Everybody at CNN after he got fired, he wanted to I'll let you fill out the rest. A lot of people. Yeah, Don Lemon's platform best days are now behind him. But Tucker Carlson still got gas in him, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. I thought it was fucking crazy. Or there's even something going on in my mind. I was just thinking about how this happened on the same day. Is there something more sinister behind this? Because, you know, there's a lot of things going on to just take our eyes off the ball when it comes to certain things. But yeah, but dealing within this scope, I think Tucker's gonna swim. Don Lemon, I don't wish anything bad on him, but I think he's gonna kind of sink, because again, this nigga got no personality, no nothing, and he's been sucking off that La La Land teat for so long. That's it. I wish them the best. I'm gonna follow Tucker wherever he goes. That's my dude. He's an influence of mine. And yeah, just want to know your thoughts. Everybody else, y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate. Most of all, subscribe. And that's it. Peace, bitches.